Welcome to this episode of the Experience Project. This is going to be a pretty quick one. Trekking poles. Buy them, use them. They are absolutely incredible. I started using trekking poles, maybe 10 years ago. My evolution started with I just would pack them when I was packing out meat, right? You're a lot more stable. You're a lot less prone to injury. I can't count how many times where I've almost slipped but then caught myself with the trekking pole. They are an invaluable tool to have while you're out there hunting. So started just packing meat with them. I'd pack them on the pack because the value was there. And then once I started hunting, I'd say more aggressive country, rough country, getting up into Alaska, especially with a rifle hunt. My rifle's strapped to my pack and my trekking poles are in my hands. You know, the first caribou hunt here on the Experience Project, you know, if we're going where I think we're going, it's river, 4,000 feet straight up, brushy for the first part of it, and then all just shale rock. I will absolutely have my trekking poles with me. They're going to save a lot of energy. They're going to take a lot of stress and just fatigue off of the legs. You're going to help distribute it. Use your arms to kind of pull yourself up the mountain. Same thing goes in reverse when you're going back down the mountain. You can use it to really brace yourself, save some of the stress and strain on your knees. Again, when you're packing out meat, they're an invaluable tool. And then they're also used for other things. So since you're packing them already, then it makes a lot of sense to have a trekking pole shelter. There's a whole nother episode you can watch on our shelter decisions and what we're doing. But since you're packing these, we're backpacking, weight matters, the amount of stuff you have to pack with you matters, then I definitely want to choose a shelter that's just going to use the trekking poles for its support instead of using poles. And then also with the Wiser Precision Quick Sticks, this turns into a rifle support. And I started breaking down how many animals I've shot over the last 5-6 years with off of this trekking pole setup versus off of a bipod or off of the tripod or a backpack. And the bulk of mine, I'd say 60-70% of the animals I've killed have been off of these. They're so easy to use and set up really quick. You can adjust the height and really just get, for those quick, I'd say 300 yard and in shots, but using the trekking poles out front and maybe a backpack in the rear, I can make a really quick, precise shot in the mountains. Trekking poles are obviously pretty self-explanatory on how to use. The general rule, when I'm climbing, I run them kind of short. When I'm descending, I run them longer. As far as features that I'm looking for, these are our original S&S archery trekking poles. We no longer make them, and the reason because they're pretty tough for what they are. But trekking poles are, if you want lightweight carbon poles and you're putting them through the type of stress and strain that we are up there in the mountains with heavy loads and they get wedged in between rocks, like the nature of it is, if you want a lightweight pole, they're gonna break at some point. You can go with, some companies do this lower section aluminum to give you a little bit more strength there. They're just gonna bend, they're not gonna break, but they get a lot heavier that way. Whether you like twist legs or lever lock legs, that's just a personal choice. Really, that's it. They're pretty simple. I would stay, if you're more than a pound in your trekking pole set, those are pretty heavy. I wouldn't go over a pound. You should be in that 12 to 14 ounce range, in my opinion, for a good trekking pole. And then one tip that I have that a lot of people don't do is actually how to properly use the handle for a trekking pole. So if you've got this, you don't put your hand in through the top and you're grabbing onto the pole with your hand. You want to do the opposite. You want to take your hand through the bottom and then you're resting your wrist on the strap and then you're just barely holding onto the handle. So when I'm doing anything, all the strain is on my wrist and it's not on my hand actually grabbing the handle. It makes it a lot easier, a lot less fatigue. Your hands don't get tired at the end of the day because your wrist is taking the bulk of that load. So pretty simple, short, quick video on trekking poles. If you think they're dorky, get over that real quick because they are amazing. I take them with me. If I'm archery day hunting with me and I know I'm going multiple miles away from the truck, covering country with the chance to do a pack out, I'm taking them with me. They're basically with me on every single hunt at this point. To me, the value is absolutely worth the 12 to 14 ounces of extra weight in your pack. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. For more information, check us out at theexperienceproject.com.